speech and ethnic content remain a significant threat to Kenya's peace, unity, and democratic development, especially as digital platforms accelerate their spread. Despite existing legal frameworks, we wish to provide a clear understanding of what constitutes hate speech, hoping that you will help us to counter it effectively, particularly online.
Stand as one, keep peace alive, unity grows, let hate not thrive.
Greetings, my name is James Wanyande from the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC. We initiate the fight against hate speech, acting as guardians of unity under the National Cohesion and Integration Act. Kenya's constitution protects freedom of expression, but this right has limits. It does not permit speech that incites violence or spreads hatred. Hate speech often starts small, a word, a phrase, or even an online post. But left unchecked, it can spark conflict or violence. For example, a divisive social media post during elections that claims people from community X are thieves and should be barred from leadership. Is this hate speech? Yes, it qualifies. Why? It promotes hatred and suggests harm. Under the National Cohesion and Integration Act, hate speech includes threatening, abusive or insulting words, behavior, or materials intended or likely to stir ethnic hatred, hostility, or discrimination. The Commission's mandate, however, goes beyond hate speech. We also address other serious offenses that threaten our national fabric, namely ethnic contempt and discrimination. On the other hand, discrimination is about treating someone unfairly on ethnic grounds. In the context of employment, it is unlawful for a public office to have more than 1/3 of its staff from the same ethnic community. Identifying these acts early helps us act before conflicts escalate. The spark must be caught before it becomes a fire. What then is our role? We monitor and investigate. We observe public spaces, media, and online platforms, especially during elections when tensions peak. Digital tools like early warning systems help us track online hate. If you report an incident via a hotline or email, we investigate. That includes gathering facts, interviewing witnesses, and assessing whether it amounts to hate speech. We also map hotspots and train communities to detect it early. Unity begins with you. Report incidents to promote a peaceful Kenya.
When NCIC flags a potential hate speech case, our team from the Directorate of Criminal Investigation DCI steps in to gather robust evidence for prosecution. We bridge identification and court presentation by collecting proof to demonstrate intent, context, and potential harm. Hate speech appears in many forms. One is spoken rallies, printed on materials. This number 3 is online. Our task is to preserve every detail, what was said, by whom, and in what context. Without evidence, justice cannot proceed. Sources of evidence can be through social media, public speeches, banners, or broadcast media. Returning to our case, at divisive election time, social media posts, our investigators would save the screenshots and metadata, verify the post source, interview the witnesses or moderators, analyze if the language meets the legal threshold for hate speech. We also examine context. Was it said at a rally or online? Did it use coded words to stir hatred? Per the training manual, we preserve everything securely, including translating non-English content. Sometimes words seem harmful, but may reflect satire. We assess to confirm true hate speech. With online hate growing, we use technology to track posts and curb their spread. Our aim, hold individuals accountable to protect our diverse nation. Citizens are key. When reporting hate speech, provide details, screenshots, timing, and location. Every piece matters.
When the DCI completes its investigation, my role at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions begins. My name is Magdalene Galuka from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. We receive investigation files and make decision to charge. We guide the case through the legal process, delivering justice fairly and promptly. We review evidence from files received from the National Cohesion and Integration Commission and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. And for hate speech cases, we may consider the following. Does the evidence align with Section 13 of the National Cohesion and Integration Act fostering ethnic hatred? Does the language qualify as hate speech? Is there clear intent to provoke hatred or violence? Is the evidence credible and reliable? We may also apply the public interest test in making the decision to charge. If the evidence is sufficient, we make a decision to charge. We draft a charge sheet, identifying witnesses and preparing exhibits to present a clear case in court. In court, I represent the state, presenting evidence, leading witnesses, and explaining why the language constitutes hate speech. We build the case, calling witnesses and experts to demonstrate intent and impact. Violence need not occur, only the likelihood. The judiciary then decides the guilt and delivers the fair outcome.
The role of the judiciary is to conduct fair trials, determine cases that balance rights and protect society. The courts will hear both sides, the prosecution's evidence versus the defense. The courts will then apply different legislation, like the Penal Code, the Evidence Act, and the National Cohesion and Integration Commission for cases of ethnic incitement. The courts will hear the evidence of both the prosecution and the defense on the intent or the context in which the words were spoken. The courts will then deliver a verdict of either guilty or not guilty. If hate speech is proven, penalties include fines, imprisonment, civic education, or reconciliation for first-time offenders. Justice does not silence free speech. It prevents words from dividing our nation. It protects Kenya's peace for future generations. Rulings heal divisions, as seen in post-2007 reforms. With the digital cases rising, we rely on the courts to set precedents for online hate and incitement.
Stand as one, keep peace alive.
We truly hope this video will enhance your understanding, promote responsible engagement, as well as national values of tolerance and unity, ultimately contributing to a more peaceful and cohesive society.
Stand